Yo, what's going on, everybody? Good morning, good evening, good afternoon. My name is Ak the Boker. I am also joined by. I'm gonna let her introduce herself this time. She doesn't need my help.
I thought I was Ak. Aren't you Clear Mouse?
Exactly. Yeah, that's what I
Oh my
said.
gosh, dude,
I
what the
said.
heck? I am joined here today by Claire Mouse, who I guess is a relatively new commentator, so please give her all the love and support for a first time mic person here.
Yes,
Anyway, how's it
please.
going? How's it going,
It's
Ak?
going great. A little nervous,
A little
first time
nervous?
here. Yeah, I just don't want to say anything silly that anybody would make fun of me for later. But I'm sure that
No
won't
one would
happen.
make fun of you. Everyone here is very supportive. But who are we
Okay.
supporting here today? Who are these runners? Have you heard of them?
I have
Do you recognize
actually
any?
heard of both of them. Yeah, we have
Okay.
Solsky and Rywek. And actually, did you know what channel we're streaming on today? This is a
This is a SpeedGaming main. Is what is the channel otherwise?
that is 100% wrong. This is actually twitch.tv/Solsky Gaming, because if you were watching his channel like 2 hours ago, he was doing a league match for his top
Oh
life, I
yeah,
believe.
that's true. That's true. He
Yeah,
was
so
he
we
was
just went
facing
ahead
up
and
against Top
renamed
Life.
it. Uh-huh.
Yeah,
So,
Solsky definitely going. Is definitely a trooper today. Back-to-back races. It sounds like actually this is probably one of his last qualifiers. Rywick, we can see on his screen. This is his fourth one. We are only we have this one and one more tomorrow, and then qualifiers are done. Ak.
man, that's crazy. They go
I
by so
know
fast.
they do. It's like it only. So I think qualifiers started 3 weeks ago or something like that, and
Mhm.
it's almost done already. And the bracket's gonna start basically this weekend.
All right. Well, excuse me, princess. We have a standard start. They have boots. They have a sword. Don't
Oh right,
worry.
yeah, boots. Yeah, you can't see the sword right now, but you can definitely see the eggplant dashing through. Rywick's gonna join him very shortly here. And
Yeah,
as
the
soon as
sword's
the
just
cogs
not
are on
visible in
full,
the rain.
yeah.
That's all. It's got that special metallic sheen. You can't see it. Oh, there was a pendant over there in Eastern. I saw it very quickly, and then I think I saw crystals at the other two. But please don't take my word for that.
Well, you know what, Act? That's why we have a tracker. It is Dapper Wormman today on pushing the buttons behind us, the scenes for us. I'm sure he's got better eyes than we do.
No pressure. No
Oh,
pressure.
Dr. Earworm, I'm sorry. sorry.
Oh,
Sorry,
that's
it says Matt E on the Discord. Sorry, and I wish. Yeah.
it's all right. There's a lot of worms in the community.
Hmm.
Yeah, with those boots, with that sword, we are able to go fast. We are able to kill things at our leisure with no mercy intended. It's a pretty cool mode. Really, man, the best part about the sword and boot start is not having to worry about the ability to farm stuff, but then you don't even need to worry about it in general, because instead of blowing open that wall to get those 3 chests, we can just run our face into it. This is my favorite part.
Yes. It's one of those bonk counter increases, but it's definitely well worth it. Yeah, this is probably one of the best changes, I guess, probably improvements since, I guess, the main tournament, right? Main tournament was standard start. Not only did you not have boosts, but you really had to basically worry, right, about farming enemies for prize points and
Hmm.
hoping in this case you get the bomb. Yeah, but with the sword start, not only do we get to go fast, we get to basically kill all our enemies. Solsky and Rywick finding out that the guards actually are in, at least looks like the bomb price pack.
Most
Maybe,
likely, I would
yeah.
assume, yeah. If we see another one, then yeah, I'll definitely confirm.
Yeah, yeah. So unfortunately, Solsky's bomb drop was a little bit farther, but still managed to basically pick it up in time. But of course, Ak, you said we don't need a bomb in order to get 3 items in the back of escape. But assuming they probably go towards Kakariko, which is a very common follow up to escape. Having bombs is definitely going to be much easier than you have to maybe farm something along the way.
Yeah. And they were a little bit more secure with the reinforcement in the walls there. They made them, I guess,
Okay.
childproof, where you can't run into them and knock them
Proof.
open. You have to use explosives. So
I mean, it doesn't have that big circle, so it's partially fortified, right? And it's got to make sure
yeah,
it's
yeah, exactly.
yeah, it's I guess we're not into vegetables today, so maybe we're just a meat and potatoes kind of person.
Are
Village.
you sure we're not into vegetables? Because we have a mushroom. But I guess that's not really a
Well,
vegetable.
it's
But
a fungi, right? Not to be
yeah,
confused
you
with
leave
a
me out of this.
fungi. Have you ever had eggplants and mushroom? Do you think they go well together? I'm kind of hungry if you haven't noticed.
Yeah. Yeah, Solsky is like on his way to making ratatouille here before he gets out of Escape.
See that sounds pretty good. Although is eggplant and ratatouille, do you know?
Um,
I don't think mushroom is, but I know a lot of colorful vegetables are ratatouille. Maybe
we
we should
still
look this
call
up.
it depends on how you make it, of course. And
Oh, really?
I'm the one that's on commentary, and I'm the one who said it. So today it does.
That actually sounds pretty good. So if it doesn't, maybe we can try a variation. Although I heard ratatouille actually takes quite a long time to make. But I, of course, I only learned this from the movie. I've actually never tried it myself.
I was
So
gonna say it's like an hour and 45 minutes because that's how long the movie is.
yeah. Have we found anything interesting so far besides that mushroom?
300 rupees. We have a
Okay.
mushroom.
Okay. So
They have sword. They have boots. Did you catch that?
you know, they didn't find that, but well, maybe they did because you know we couldn't actually see the sword earlier. We couldn't actually see the boots, but you know, I guess everybody goes to sleep with shoes on.
Looky there, Rywick taking advantage of knowing that the ropes here or the snakes are also in the same price pack as those guards. So he has 7 bombs right now. So he's pretty much fully decked out for bombs for the rest of the seed without really having to worry about it.
Yeah, maybe Rywick or maybe Solsky here is gonna plan on farming maybe a couple more rats. to see what they can end up dropping. Unfortunate bonk though.
And this might also be common knowledge now, but I'll go ahead and share it, mostly because I didn't really catch on to this for an embarrassing long period of time. He uses a bomb. He's got so many bombs, he uses a bomb to blow up the wall. Living the life of luxury, Rywick. Anyways, what I was saying is whenever you dash and kill an enemy, they actually will not drop anything. And I don't know how long it took me to put that together, yeah.
Oh, yeah. It's actually one of those things where I think NMG runners are very, very conscious of that, mainly because, you know, when they do Agham's Tower, they want to try and dash kill the guard so it doesn't advance the price pack so they can save that fairy for Turtle Rock later. But yeah, it doesn't come up very often in Rando, but that's actually a really good point though, right? Because we saw when Solsky was dashing through those rats, like he definitely wasn't going to get anything out of them.
Oh, somebody mentions that Rywick is preserving his bonk meter here. Okay, so it's an interesting way to do it. I'll respect it.
Yeah,
I gotta say,
though, but,
good luck getting this item here.
This one is a sacrifice you might need to make.
Well, no, that's a bonk.
Well,
Gotta restart.
Yeah, well, you know, 50 rupees is, you know, pretty good right now. They pick up 300, you know, 500 rupees is always a good benchmark, right? Can always do South Shore. With Boot Start, you can do a water walk. Unfortunately, Solsky is getting bullied by that crow, just for some hearts instead. But, you know, yeah. What?
Those were just 2 little kisses.
Kisses. Well, I mean, do you think the bird's hungry too? Because Rywick is a.
Oh, that's a good point. Yeah, he does have a lot of
yeah.
a lot of bird food on him.
Right.
All right. There's 3 more bombs over there.
3 bombs. All right. So nothing worth picking up, of course, even if we have to force kill Aga today. But it's definitely not going to be for those 3 bombs on Lumberjack. Good for runners though. I've certainly seen a good number of runners decide to momentarily skip Lumberjack, maybe check it later in combination when they want to go up the mountain. Or, you know, if you just end up not checking it and it doesn't have anything, then it's got a little time save for you.
Save a couple transitions.
Yeah.
Yeah. And basically how these qualifiers work, they take the top 5 runners, they will average their times, and that's basically the par set for the field, and whatever your time is relative to the collective average of the top 5, you get a percentage of that, and those will be your points. And we are accepting, man, it's 128 runners that get to move on. Looking, I mean, I don't want to say it's not competitive. Gosh, over the years, man, it's looking, you know, I don't know, man. I don't want. I put myself in a pickle here where I can't say anything.
There are no cucumbers. There's an eggplant
and mushroom. Yes, you're right. Yeah. And the flute.
And the flute. Yes, I definitely don't think cucumbers or pickles are in Ratatouille. But you know, maybe it might be interesting to try it out.
Yeah, we finally got a method to cook our vegetables.
Yeah. It's very convenient flute, of course. You always want to be able to find, you know, flute and bottle are 2 of the things you definitely want to have when you're in Kakariko. What better way to find it than inside the village itself?
Oh, it's the perfect place to find the flute. You love to see it there. The hardest part about the flute and Kakariko was remembering to turn it in, man. You just get in autopilot mode, and you're
Yeah,
you're all the
that's
way
true.
down there
Yeah,
at race game trying to flute away. And you're like, what the heck, man? Why is this bird so lazy? It's because you forgot. Doesn't happen to anybody, I promise.
well, certainly none of these runners. And man, okay, so Kakariko, well, we've got the rest of our Zora money and Pod money and Bottle Vendor money. I think we're pretty much set for money. The rest of the game.
Yeah, money and bombs looking good. There's Quake being sold today.
Yeah, right. We're trying to activate it. Looks like maybe he wasn't quite close enough, but yeah. So Quake, of course, is a really nice medallion. Could be, it's gonna one fewer medallion we potentially have to search for. I would actually like to see some of these runners potentially take some revenge on those Dead Rocks on Death Mountain. That is something that Quake can do for you.
Oh, absolutely. That's a great idea. Yeah, who knew that? Those could kill Quake. Yeah, Quake and Powder, the only thing that kills those things. And honestly, I feel like if all of the runners collectively got together and just for one day of rando, we made sure to kill all of them, maybe they
Oh
would
my
not
gosh,
come back.
dude, that would be amazing.
I dubbed this Kill Dead Rock Day,
yeah.
October 7th.
I think it would be very therapeutic, especially and I'm sure actually all of the other rando or / vanilla variants would also join in, like glitch modes, right? And G runners, certainly would like
Everybody
to take
would be very happy. Yeah. Therapeutic, though, when you say it like that, I will say I do have a little concerns about your mental health. All right, what is our next piece going to be here? So getting a lot of good items, but not really getting necessarily a direction, where to go. Still going to need quite a few pieces to be able to clear a crystal. No glove, no hammer, no moon pearl. Those are probably going to be pretty important before we head over to the Dark World, I imagine.
You do bring up a good point. After all of the good stuff that we found so far, right? Flute, mushroom, a lamp. We don't have any pieces towards Dark World progression. We don't even have like another sword, or potentially a cape to give us entry into the top of the castle. We would definitely not like to see that necessarily quite yet. Because we would like to be able to probably explore the rest of the world a little bit further before we potentially have to commit. Of course, I'm also very confident though that many of these runners, including our recent ones, Solsky and Rywick, would be at least comfortable enough to at least maybe try Dark Dragon. But there's no reason to try it if it's not in Logic yet.
Oh no, absolutely. Well, and definitely no reason to try if you can't even get in there.
Yeah. Yeah.
I mean, I will say though, if we could just do that right now, even though we don't have a pearl, I don't know what his, this eggplant's bunny sprite is, but we could be having another vegetable on the menu. Yeah. All right, using some bomb strats here.
Hey, we got our second sword. Man, I hope a second sword is a good thing. It's a blessing and not a curse. We've got a lot of options though for us. We've got Ice Rock Cave. We don't have the flippers. We also don't have a glove, which actually coincidentally, of all things, does not actually put Zora in Logic quite yet. Because we need either glove or flippers. I'm sure a lot of runners are very used to just water walking over to the Zora area though, doing Waterfall Fairy, and especially if you have money, right? You're definitely going to pay off. Pay off Zora, and especially for Solsky, especially if there happens to be, let's say, a hammer on Zora, I think it'd be very fitting for the scene.
Oh, well, we'll just have to wait and see. You always got to be a little cautious, though, if you're going to do that. I mean, you have the money. You can do the water walk, so we'll be able to open those chests. We don't really have a way to store it outside of those chests. So if there's something on the ledge, you're not really going to be able to get it. And then also, if, you get a heart refill at the ferry, then you're going to have to either swim or take the long way around because we don't have the moon pearl to set it back up.
Yeah, that's actually a good point. And actually, that's actually a potential, I would say, a more common occurrence just because of how the health upgrades work, right? So for SGL, there are only 2 heart containers and 4 heart pieces. So because you're going to pick up more heart pieces, the chance of you getting a heart refill on the 4th heart is actually more probable than probably like a more normal set. Because you just have so many more heart pieces. Looks like that's not going to be the problem today, though. Rywick found out that there are no heart upgrades in Waterfall Fairy, and nothing on the ledge, so it should be pretty safe.
And Solsky decided to go ahead and do Hobo instead of Zora. He could have done Zora, but he would not have been able to check Waterfall because he would have lost his Water Walk after he'd stepped down. But there was absolutely nothing over there, so...
Yeah, Brightwood, of course, picking up one of those heart pieces. Just because, again, of how many heart pieces there are, the health increase is just going to be very gradual. So maybe Rywick is kind of interested in trying to get more health sooner rather than later.
All right. Looks like Green Pendant's over at Turtle Rock today, so we should be seeing that Ice Rod happen soon. And that was 2 bottles and a cane there.
Say, that was so it's also kind of interesting about the prize pack is so there are 4 bottles placed, but you only get a maximum 2 bottles, and they always come empty. So Rywick Solsky is set basically for the rest of this match.
It sounds negative when you say they always come empty. Let's just go ahead and say they always come pre-washed.
Oh, you're right.
They're clean.
Right, clean, yes.
Dishwasher safe bottles.
Yeah, actually, and this is actually something that potentially people are doing more often. So Solsky hasn't been over to the waterfall area, right? So when he goes over there, he's got 2 free bottles. He can actually throw his bottles into the waterfall and see what they end up getting. It doesn't happen too often in other non-SGL settings, just because they, potentially come with something. They're already occupied, but hey. When they're pre-washed, right? We can. It's just an invitation for us to go there.
So it is kind of weird that if your bottle's already washed, you just throw it in a pool of water.
You're hoping to get something. Maybe Waterfall Fairy has chocolate milk or something, right?
Oh, that would be pretty good.
Chocolate milk with ratatouille, man. I want to get
All right, so we're going to have an Eastern play on Rywick's side. Solsky turned in his mushroom, didn't get anything. He's going to head up to Death Mountain, check out these 2 checks here via turning in the Old Man, and then he can also access Spectacle Rock. Yeah, and you got to think, one of these 2 is going to have something here.
Yeah, and of course, Rywick, I guess, is more willing potentially to go into Eastern without that bow. Because Eastern Palace is a pendant, so the chances of us potentially finishing this dungeon is relatively low at this point.
Yes, yeah. It will not be mandatory to have to come back, without that bow, but if it was a crystal and, you didn't get the bow in here, it would most certainly be mandatory to come back.
Mm-hmm. Oh,
there's Ether. Close to home, just a little ways away.
Yeah. So unfortunately, Rywick hasn't actually found anything really useful. Because I think we found map in Cannonball chest or something like that, and then a compass. So we're really hoping for some items here, but potentially there's going to be one last item that he. Oh my god!
Nope, there's the bow.
There is the bow.
Yuck.
That is pretty awful. Of course, as part of SGL settings, there is the one bow that Rywick just picked up. There's no progressive bows. Solsky will have to go there, potentially eventually, in order to pick it up.
Doesn't seem so bad though. I mean, Pendant Eastern is a nasty place to find a bow, but I think, man, as far as we see right now on the restream, everyone's going to get funneled there pretty hard. There really isn't much going unless somehow you're going to just go to Aga and find everything you need to not be able to move forward in the seed. So if we end up finding a Pearl in Eastern, everyone's getting that bow.
Yeah, no, that's actually a good point, because Pendant Eastern probably is one of those more visited Pendant dungeons versus once you get to the Dark World, right? The chance of you probably going to another Pendant is going to be pretty late. Right, unless you really just run out of crystal dungeons to do.
Also, I don't know if we had mentioned either. I forgot about Agina, but Solsky didn't, so he was like, I'm going to go check that, which was a great play. We found a fire rod over there on the ledge of Desert Palace, which will most likely be required. I guess it doesn't necessarily have to be required this seed, but, soon to come on that.
Yeah, so we already know 2 pendants though. So we know that Eastern is a pendant. Also helped out by the helpful capital P in the upper left-hand corner that we see on the right side, and Solsky. Solsky talked to Sahajla, so we found out that Turtle Rock is a pendant. So if Skullwoods is also a pendant, which could happen, we might need to. We may not need that fire rod today, especially when we have the lamp as a fire source too, right?
But we're probably gonna get that fire rod. I don't see any world where you don't get it.
certainly also, you know, if like GT Big Key is logically locked on the right hand side of GT, right? We also probably need it. And of course, Fire Rod is just very helpful item to have in general. Oh, Riley. Looks like unfortunately one of those arrows hit the wall, so hopefully he's oh, unfortunately he couldn't quite get the last one down.
Yep. And there is a Moon Pearl on Armos.
Yeah. Okay. So good thing we came to Pendant Eastern, because Pendant Eastern apparently has tons of value. I would like to point that out for all of the Eastern Palace early dippers, or late dippers, I guess in this case.
Yeah. I think it'll be a non-issue, this qualifier. Everybody in this qualifier will be going to Eastern, and they will be going there very early.
Yeah, and especially, it looks like, you know, they've already exhausted most of the Light World checks, right? Yeah, there's not
no, there's nothing,
else.
yeah. After this, we have to do Aga. We have nothing left.
Yeah, even
unless somehow Solsky can go, whenever he does Waterfall, he turns in his potion to the lady, and she gives him a fairy, and then we can go hover over to Death Mountain and get a glove and a hammer, and then all of a sudden we're not doing Aga anymore.
That would be amazing. Do you know Solsky can hover?
Actually, wait. I think I feel like we've seen the bug net, but I feel like we couldn't get it.
It was on like Hylia Island, so we couldn't actually get it. So we have, but you're right though. if the waterfall fairy gives us a fairy, that already would occupy our bottles.
So what we do is we overworld glitch over. We get the bug net.
No, we can't do that.
Wait, that's not allowed.
Okay,
you're
so
right.
If everybody closes their eyes and we just black out the restream for about 15 seconds, then no one's the wiser, right?
Yeah. But wow, they must have got progressive bug net somewhere.
Yes.
All right. Solsky following through with Eastern Palace doesn't have an item, and then, you know, fortunately in this seed, we also really don't have anything looking too tantalizing to do outside of this.
Yeah, it looks like Rywick is also just gonna kind of retrace some of Solsky's skips. Well, not rescuing the old man from the back. It looks like. No, maybe Solsky did this too. I guess I don't remember. But I guess at the end, both runners are just gonna exhaust all their light wall checks, and then I guess we have another couple minutes of Castle Tower to go through.
Yep. And then if we don't find a glove or a hook shot or like a hammer, or anything that on Pyramid. Well, it looks like we're going into pod, no questions asked, because there's nowhere else to go.
That's actually a great point. Because, you know, sometimes when you end up having to do Aga for Dark World access, right, the chance of you having, let's say, a glove versus, like, nothing, is relatively high. Or maybe just, like, a hammer, right, with no glove.
Yeah,
and then
there's always, or flippers.
Yeah, and there's always going to be kind of, like, a decision point as to, like, do I go to Catfish, or do I go to pod? And, you know, if we don't have anything, paradox of choice or freedom, right? Is that, you know, we only have one choice. We have to go. No decisions made.
All right. And here we are converging on Aga 1. Kind of looks like, you know, Solsky has a little bit of an edge, but they haven't necessarily done exactly the same checks. I believe as it sits, Rywick has done Waterfall and Zora, and Solsky has done Hobo. Outside of that, I think they're pretty much square.
Yeah, no, I think you're right. Yeah, because they basically took a slight, I guess, fork when they decided to do the water walk from Ice Rockade, and yeah.
Yeah, somebody made that wrong turn at Albuquerque, right?
Yeah.
Yes.
Albuquerque to New Mexico to Santa Fe to.
This game is a million years old, so I think that joke's appropriate.
Although, funnily, I guess I think Rywick and Solsky are both not in the United States, right? Solsky's in Canada, and Rywick is, I guess, maybe somewhere in France.
I think also Canada.
Oh, also Canada. Okay.
I dare not be wrong on this, and, you know, get a lecture, but I think that's correct. I think so.
You're probably right.
Yeah. So in that case, since we're, you know, not 100% sure of it, let's just say that this is, you know, the battle for who's the best Canadian rando runner. This is the Canada's championship. And then when Rywek says he's like, you know, from Alabama, then we can just look really dumb.
How do you think customs work in Canada? Do you think they have Ratatouille there? Maybe we can import Solsky? Or
maybe eggplant mushroom lamp is Canadian Ratatouille.
Yeah. When you said eggplant mushroom lamp, it almost sounded like a seed hash at that point. But then sadly, there's no eggplant in this game.
I'm starting to imagine you just rating your seeds now based on how many food groups are in the hash now.
All right, so it looks like, you know, Rywek and Solsky making their way through Aga Tower. You know, unfortunately, I'm not actually sure how experienced, I guess, or they are, I guess, in MG, but unfortunately, they don't have the blue boomerang. Definitely makes things actually a little bit more awkward, just like, for instance, picking up that key, right?
Missing a blue boomerang, and they're missing like one heart. I guess they did make up for it with the armor, but it was almost vanilla. It was close.
Oh yeah, that's that is actually true.
Or missing 2 hearts, you know, if you're immortal, like 99% of the runners.
I was gonna say, yeah, sometimes, you know, not most people I think are in Team Sankar, but of course, you know, you do have, you know, the 3 seconds that you spend to pick up that chest in Sanctuary, still, you know, it could cost you.
Now, I should have been paying attention to this. Well, never mind. I take it back. I was gonna say something dumb, but you know what? I didn't say it, so now I don't have to say it. No, you can't make me say it. I was curious if anybody had gotten a refill on their bottle. And I was like, that could be relevant for pod, but then I'm like, why don't they just use the bow? That seems a lot better. So I took it back.
Well, you know, Solsky actually had some foresight and actually to buy a green potion. Maybe
he did? Okay.
Yeah. But of course, you know, Rywek, I think, hasn't... or maybe actually Rywek also picked something up as well. Because he also did visit the potion shop to see what the mushroom pyramid was.
Yeah, I assumed. I wasn't paying any attention. I was getting ready for the blackout so we could go get the bug net.
You know, there's nothing stopping these 2 runners from also, you know, just doing the potion glitch too. You know, and if they know how to mimic
That's
it,
true.
I would also like to be able to see that too.
That's true. You know, just because there's an optimal way to do it doesn't mean you have to do it that way. I gotta say, man, that the highlight of the whole entire qualifiers I've seen so far was my man Arier. P.S. He took off the silvers on his bow and did Lando with just the bow and got a 2-cycle.
It was even it was an early 2-cycle too, right? Like the last worm barely made it out of the sand before Ari just took him down so fast. That was probably one of the most impressive fights I've ever seen.
So you haven't seen the clip. It's like maybe one of the greatest dabs I've ever seen in rando history.
It is so good.
And also, it was just arrows on pyramid.
Yeah, you know, so, alright, so we finally took down Aga. We had, looks like, a lot of blue balls, seemingly. But yeah, so nothing on pyramid means that we have exactly one choice for us to go, which is Palace of Darkness.
And that was Pendant Swamp. And, like, man, if he was able to see what his 5/6 were there, he has got laser vision. I feel like maybe it was ice, but God, I don't freaking know. That was so fast.
Dude, maybe we'll get another map check sometime in the near distant future.
It was pod. Okay, it was close. it was
that sounds good. I'm gonna trust our tracker, Dr. Earworm here.
All right. So Hera and pod. Those both seem like pretty easy big bomb crystals to get.
So what are we gonna find here in pod? You think we're gonna find a hammer? So that might open things up a bit.
Hammer seems
great. Would be great as well. Hook shot, mitts. Yeah, some sort of progression has to be here.
Yes. Man, it could be any of those too. Like, part of me is thinking hammer. Then part of me is also thinking, like, man, Rando kind of sucks sometimes. It'll probably just give you a hook shot.
Yeah, the fact that... Okay, so we had to kind of come over here to finish basically Pennant Eastern, right? And so it would be somewhat cruel if we can't find the hammer here in pod. Well, we never like to find hammer in pod because, you know, why would you come to here without a hammer?
Oh, this is the best seed to find hammer in pod. Yeah, there's a glove.
Yeah.
Not
really
the biggest glove.
Yeah, well, I mean, you have to start small, act right. Things are, we're progressive,
That's just a
incremental.
catfish glove right now, man. That's all.
We just need a hammer, and then we don't have to worry about catfish ever again.
Yeah, that glove might as well be a fishing rod with nothing else.
You think with a fishing rod we can get that bug net off of like Hylia Island? We just need to
We should
like
be able
cast,
to, yeah.
cast it kind of far.
Yeah. Just go hang out there next to the fortune teller. Oh, that'd be really cool.
Oh,
Hey,
dude, that sounds like such a chill day.
new idea for the festive modes. All right. Solsky went over to this side first. Doesn't have a hammer, so we are gonna have to do, the very normal way to get out of a dungeon. In real life, kill yourself.
Kill yourself.
And then you
Yeah.
just
Well,
go back to
I
the
mean,
start.
that was like that was like sliced eggplant at that point, right? When Solsky died.
Oh yeah.
It looked like
He's
fried
just-
eggplant, maybe.
Yeah, this is actually just a culinary masterpiece Solsky is putting on today. Oh man, I really like this bit. Please keep it up.
Yeah, so unfortunately, you see that both runners end up kind of going back to the spike room hallway, just because they do a blue mail, and it's going to be, the fastest way. Spikes certainly ignore armor, so it's going to be 1 heart of damage each. But yeah, and
Smolkies?
yeah, I mean, this is kind of the unfortunate part. Also, Solsky and Rywick demonstrating just how much convenience the mirror brings for routing pod.
Yeah, mirror is very helpful in pod, or at least mirror and or hammer. By the way, fun fact about the nice old pod bomb jump that Ryweg did there is that I showed him how to do that at
SGL? Really?
Games Done Quick.
Oh, and HTTQ. Oh, dude, really? Wow, the history. That's awesome.
And now he just did it like a professional. So.
Oh, was that intentional to taking all that damage on Rywig's side?
If you're not dead, it doesn't matter.
You're right. That you are 100% accurate in this sense. I guess we don't have Rywig's audio, so we don't know how fast his heartbeats are. But we haven't found anything yet, have we?
No, just that fishing rod
dude.
there in the form of a glove. We still got 1 chest left.
Oh man.
It does have something that's not a key.
Okay, alright, okay. So at least Solsky is the first one. Brian was gonna pick up his hook shot here very, very shortly. But unfortunately it looks like we are gonna have to come back to pod.
If Rywick really wants this chest, and there's turtles in here that really don't want him to get it. You have the blue cane. We can do it? Okay, we're not getting that chest. Alright.
Okay, well, I guess he's not gonna get punished, right, if he ends up not getting it at this point. Because I think, we've already got all the value we can out of pod, which is, in this case, our hook shot and our glove, so
He got 5 items. Okay, so good for him.
Okay, cool.
So him not wanting to die to those turtles actually saved him some time. He's doing his due diligence, too. He's going to walk out of pod to, I guess not only check catfish, but with that hook shot, it's not necessarily just for Death Mountain. We can go over to Village of Outcast, yeah.
Yeah, I was going to say, this could be basically going up or over to Village of Outcast area. Solsky, though, has the other idea in mind. He is taking that hook shot immediately up to Death Mountain. Or over to Death Mountain, I guess. So unfortunately, because we have the hook shot, we don't need a ferry anymore. I would have really liked to be able to see that.
Oh, very sad.
Alright, so it looks like Rywick, though, is going to go over to Catfish. He, as you said, going to be thorough here. And if something is here, this is actually going to be pretty good for Rywick, especially this early on.
Yeah, like finding a mirror here would be pretty sick.
Yeah,
Well, maybe, I don't know, man. We got that Pendant Swamp, maybe you don't want to see the mirror the entire thing.
I mean, we just don't want to see those flippers. That's really it. Because we can always stay flipper into ice. We just don't want to see those flippers.
Okay. So get out of here, flippers. We don't want you.
Yeah, that's right. We only need our bottles to come pre-washed. Dang it!
Right, there we go. We got a mitts. That's silvers. That's flippers.
Wow,
That's bombos.
Holy
piece of heart.
What a paradox cave.
He got a piece of heart at the end, so whatever. It wasn't worth it.
You're right. Looks like Solsky wants to keep his bombs, though. really nice cover over here to the rest of the mountain. I guess Paradox is gonna be the new hype cave for the seed. Did you happen to catch what was on Catfish, by the way? Because I was so focused on seeing all the
there
goodies
was
from
nothing on
Paradox.
Catfish.
Okay.
I have no idea what it was. It's like when I see these nothing items, I see them for like a split second, and I've completely erased them from my brain. It's like it didn't exist. Single arrow up there. We don't need that.
We do not in this case. But this seed actually looks pretty good. And just in terms of offense, they've already got Master Sword. Chance of them stumbling upon another sword, hopefully it's going to be pretty good. But, they've already got Silver Arrows. So at the very, very least, if they are stuck on Master Sword or Silvers for the rest of the game, it's not going to be the end of the world.
Yeah. Very nice to have that option and having it so early too. Not going to have to necessarily worry about, the stresses of killing Vitreous without, half magic a cape and butter sword. It's the best way to do it.
Yeah, no, and low percent fights, especially for something like Vitreous or for Ganon, it's it's certainly a very it's a lot of these runs have
it's doable, but it's risky.
Yeah,
correct.
Yeah, it's definitely very experienced, but yeah, it's not something that you would choose to do, right?
And then sometimes it's just outright slower too.
Yeah, Rhywick actually timing that Wall Master grab pretty dang well. Managed to making it all the way to the back without the mirror. Of course, can't conveniently get it back to the beginning of the dungeon. But luckily, the Wall Master was just there.
All right. Solsky doing his map check. Can confirm that we have eagle eyes on our tracker today because that was 5-6 over there at Pod. Must feel bad being over here in Skull Woods, knowing that, like, gosh dang it, like, I know where that fire rod is, but I'm missing, to his knowledge, he's missing 2 items to get it. Still needs that other glove, still needs the mirror. Solsky made the presumptuously what looks like the correct choice to come over here to Death Mountain. Getting your mitts over here is always good. That's also Samaria as well. We will be needing that.
Yeah, so Samaria is really good. We can immediately flute over to the Mire area at this point. And then we can, so if the Mire Medallion entry is either Bombos or Quake, we can actually go in.
Yeah, and if it is that, we are literally, I think, just looking for 2 items. It would be one being Mirror and the other one being Hammer. And, or Book. Excuse me, Mirror or Book and then Hammer.
Yeah, because we need, in this case, Desert Palace access, which is, Mirror or Book entry, and we need a Fire Rod for Skull Woods. Other than that, wow, that's actually... I mean, it's not like looking for 2 items is ever, taken forever, right?
Never.
Okay.
But the Hammer being one of them, it does...
The Hammer being one of them certainly can make your routing decisions a bit more awkward. Did you happen to catch that? Was it Bombos on Mire?
I think it was Bombos.
Okay.
I'm not sure, though. I was in Bugnet mode again. I blacked out.
Yeah, so it looks like, though, Rhywick ended up finding a Tempered Sword here in Village Valcast. It's going to be really nice. Once runners find their Tempered Sword, super comfy execution from there on out.
I'm going to assume that it was Bombos. Given that he has Bombos to
yeah,
cook, and he did not save and quit there.
That's a good guess there.
Right.
Oh, Skull Woods? Oh, great. Oh, cool. Okay, that's actually really good. So in this case, I think it sounds like both items were in the front of Skull Woods?
I believe so. I think I did see 2. All right. And we'll be able to head over here into Misery Mire. He's just going to go ahead. It's Crystal Dungeon. It's got 2 items. We can do it. Why not? Silver's definitely makes it seem a lot more palatable. All right. Joke's on you, Wizrobe. I stuck a Samaria block on your head and you spawned into it. Gotcha. But we are just making our way through our collective crystal dungeons here. Notably, we don't have the hammer on Rhywick's side, so there is a chance we could be leaving an item in that big chest. for better or for worse. However, given what we've seen in the seed, we're only missing 2 items, one of them being the hammer. So, granted, he doesn't know it from his perspective, but seems very unlikely that that'll be something that he's going to have to worry about.
Yeah, that's
It's always
actually no, that's definitely a good point. You know, if you're worried about that big chest, if it's hammer locked and you're looking for the hammer, you don't really have to worry about it potentially.
I do believe we had like man. I know that there was at least 2 seeds where you had seeds where you were like pretty much given the option to do Thieves Town without the hammer, and it didn't seem like a bad call. Both of them had a sword in that big chest. It's very rude. It's like they knew. All right. So I saw a big key over here in Mire, just above the vanilla big key chest. No fire out here, so we kind of have to do the more thorough method here to light these torches.
It's almost as if the game intended you to have the lamp here and not shoot fire rods as the
No,
blocks are moving.
They wanted you to shoot them through the blocks. There's no way they would think otherwise.
Did you happen to catch if we already found the both map and compass in Thieves Town?
I was literally about to say that, like, I don't know. I feel like I've been drinking all day because I have just not been able to catch any of that so far.
How much ratatouille have you had today,
man, I've just been enjoying the ride, Hey, there's a mirror in Mire.
That is a pretty dang good find on Solski's side. Wow.
Oh, this route is going so well for him right now.
He has definitely gone to where the items are. It's just like the chain of progression, right? You found all of these good things in Paradox. You found the myths. You found medallion. You basically found your Mire access, and then once you go in, finding the cane up there also in Dark Death Mountain, Hookshot Cave. Mire's a very natural play, and Solski was definitely rewarded for it.
All right, so now he just has to hunt down that hammer. We know that fire rod's sitting there in Desert Ledge. The mirror makes that accessible. Oh man, he's got to be feeling stoked about this right now, though.
Oh heck yeah! I mean, well, it's not often you get a hammer go mode when it's actually somewhat, I guess, like more like convenient, right? Hammer go mode is like you probably already like looped the Dark World twice around, right? Just because you're trying to get over to Hype Cave.
Right.
But, I mean, if that's like you've already gotten all your other items this early, like yeah, you must feel really good.
All right, where's that hammer gonna be? There's still some nasty spots it can be, but we still have, a lot of not nasty spots available, so, man, who knows? You never want to see it in ice. That always is awful. Oh, sorry, what were you saying?
No, I was going to say, I think in this case, we don't have to go into Eternal Rock, right? If we're in Hammer Go mode?
No. We will never go in there.
That is so nice, actually, to be able to completely, logically skip. Right?
With a clear conscience, like just get it off the table. It might as well not have existed.
Yeah, and potentially, so if the runners choose to, they can go into the first chest in Swamp Palace, but they know, right? If they're, especially Solski, if he's in Hammer Go mode, like that's it, right? You can just check the first chest and then just nope out. This is so nice. You can skip so much and just feel super comfortable about it.
I'm sure you would prefer to, like, I don't know, have it drop somewhere over here from like Lambo, or have it hanging out in Checkerboard Cave.
Oh, that would be super nice. But maybe Rywolk will end up finding the hammer here in Hype Cave.
Hold on, I'll tell you if that's gonna happen or not. See, it seems really unlikely he was gonna do that. So yeah, there was no way.
Yeah. Do you think they're gonna sell hammers at some point in the shop? Because he did get some money.
Yeah. We could go ask. I mean, he could, go turn in the frog, and then, I don't know, instead of turning him in, he just brings him in there, then casts Bombos and steals their hammer.
Do we have to cast Bombos, Ak? I don't feel comfortable with that medallion.
We could cast Quake, I suppose, but I feel like that's even more cruel to turn them into a vegetable, even though it does fit the seed very well.
I was gonna say, so can that be like what is it, yellow squash? Can that be like another pairing with eggplant?
Yes.
Alright, so it looks like at least Solsky, finishing up Meyer, he is definitely looking for the hammer. Potentially, he would really like another sword. He, I guess, depending on where in Skullwoods it is, and maybe where the hammer is, he might not be able to pick it up. He's gonna go straight to the back if he's already found the hammer by then.
Yeah, that's something I was thinking of too. That could come into play whether or not he does get that sword. Because if you're in go mode, you're probably not going to check the front of Skullwoods. By the way, if you missed this loaded Paradox Cave, check it out. Look at all of these juicy, amazing items. It's the best one you'll ever see.
Yeah, Rywek, I mean, I'm sure he's very happy getting all the items for progression. I'm not sure how he feels about it after, like, the fact that he's delayed the mountain after Hookshot.
Yeah. I don't think it's going to be necessarily...
Right.
It really depends on where that hammer is, because after this, he's just... It seems like he'll probably go over, to check out Meyer, and then, like, I don't see why he wouldn't want to go do it.
Yeah, and the fact that he didn't really do anything extra that would really force a double dip. I think probably the only main difference is, he did the front of Skullwoods, which it got him a sword, right? But it may or may not end up being required, or something that Solsky might do.
Skipping the whole entire Dark World, though, would be, like, the dream. We would take that over the sword any day. The sword would not save you that much time.
Yeah, Rywek did end up doing a bunch of South Dark World stuff, so... And Solsky, of course, is going to be able to just make one trip over here to the Village of Outcasts / Skullwoods area.
It's an interesting routes Solsky did here for Desert Palace. He left his portal at the front. I guess I did give him access just to hop right into the dungeon, but Checkerboard Cave, he's gonna have to go all the way back to the portal if he wants to check it. By the way, there's a shovel over there in Kingston.
Yeah, I was gonna say, like, Rywek ran all the way over here to check Kingston and just got another TBD item. But I guess we're not checking out. Rywek, of course, is very interested in checking out what the Meyer area has for us. And for Solsky's side, we saw that we did find the mirror in Cutscene Chest of Meyer. And of course, with Temper Sword, Rywek's life in Meyer is going to be a little bit nicer.
Yeah, Temper Sword's always just nice. I gotta say though, I don't know what would make things necessarily like. There's a lot of bad spots for the hammer now for Rywek, but those spots are not necessarily that bad for Solsky. Like one of those one-off mirror checks, Solsky's gonna kind of have the mirror. Going through the Dark World and then, Smiths, all that. I'm curious to see what's going to happen.
Yeah, that's actually a good point, because Rywek ran all the way over to Kingston from Light World Sanctuary, right? Solsky has the option of just keeping his Dark World access and then doing Graveyard Ledge and Kingston together. So this is interesting. Did Rywek end up doing Hookshot Cave?
Did he not?
I was watching Solsky's side, unfortunately.
I honestly just assumed that he would. I don't know. We'll see if he did or not.
That is also what I assumed.
If he doesn't kill the boss, then we're in trouble. Oh, that interesting. All right, yeah. Solsky not going to Orphan Checkerboard Cave, so we just had to go back, get our portal. We left it behind these majestic Hylian stones that only move with the book.
I thought they moved with a prayer, right? You were supposed to like be praying or something. That's what the
can't pray without a book.
Yeah. All right, Solsky was at least he knows that he can rest in. He has peace of mind by at least checking Checkerboard Cave and make sure there's nothing good inside.
And then now he'll get to do his Village of Outcast route, Skullwoods, Thieves Town, but he gets to do that with Fire Rod in hand, with Mitts in hand, with Mirror in hand, so a lot more is available to him. But you never know, man. You start getting a little zany when you're just like, gosh, I just need that hammer, I got all this stuff that's in front of me, but then, the density of the checks in this Village of Outcasts route, they're always at the end of the route, not at the beginning. So, sometimes you get a little kooky and you want to kind of skip ahead. So you can be a little aggressive.
Yeah, it actually looks like Solsky is going directly to the back. So no hammer. But also no Temper Sword, so I hope he's comfortable at least with Master Sword fights. And of course in this prize or in the item pool, we do not have half magic in this case, so to help any of our runners out. Now that they found it so far, but he is going to be on one normal magic bar's worth of magic.
Right. The half magic's now the doppelganger rupee, right?
The half magic is a small magic container.
Oh yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
What's the doppelganger? Oh, never mind. That's just
it's like a
glade.
shield or like a or a bottle. So basically anything that takes like two item pixels worth of space.
Gotcha. That makes sense. All right. All right. And Master Sword it is, because we have no magic to shoot at him, but that's all right. We got a sword, a noisy one at that.
That's actually a good point. Hopefully, maybe Solsky will lose his sword beams here on purpose.
Oh, he's going to use his potion here.
Yeah.
That's a fine play.
Yeah. He's got so much money, right? So even though he has blue mail, he is only on 5 working hearts at this point. This is definitely not going to be an easy fight.
Definitely not easy when, these spikes keep blocking the fire rod shots and Moth is being a jerk, but no, excellent fight by him. Will Moth have our hammer? Nope, it's a map, because we already saw both items there. But what if there was a third today? Man, that would be something.
That would be something that the devs would be very, very interested in. So do you think, in this case, Solsky's will just hammer away from Goma? Do you think he's going to check the front of Skullwoods on his way out? Or maybe just mirror out and then go somewhere else?
Not entirely certain. We'll have to see on that one. Again, that's what I was like, man, you have options to be really aggressive here, but then, I don't know, maybe you're just like, man, I've just been cruising the whole seed. Everything's been going kind of great. Like, why throw it all away by, trying to save a minute here or there? Not necessarily trying to win. This is qualifiers, so your score is, based off the collective par.
Yeah, I was actually kind of curious about that, if that was part of the strategy, because I think there are 37 people total in this race. So you just want to secure your spot basically for brackets, right? And
Ryan Wick did not kill Vitreous, and
yes.
I imagine that's not because he's concerned about his equipment. I imagine that is because he's concerned that he doesn't have Canis and Maria.
Yeah, so when he did find Mir in Cutscene Chess, he had expressed his frustrations potentially with some happy shield blocks, or sword swipes, and then begrudgingly mirrored out, and it looks like he is going to check into War Cave, pick up a Spire Rod, and then go into Desert, presumably.
Oof. That is definitely unfortunate. I don't know. We'll have to ask him about that one. Maybe it slipped his mind. Maybe he was just like, whatever. Maybe it'll lead him to, if the hammer's saying like Hera or something, maybe he goes there a little bit quicker.
Yeah, no, that is certainly possible. We actually have not seen, because there was no mirror up in Dark Death Mountain, so Solsky couldn't get back to the light world after doing Dark Death Mountain. We don't actually know what's in Hera inside, and of course Hera is actually one of our 5-6 crystals as well. Not that it's going to matter today, because if Pod is hammer locked, we're not going to need Pyramid Fairy at all.
Interesting. I'm gonna be miffed off if it's like first chest swamp though, because this is just so beautiful of a seed, and then you put it there, and it's like, haha, just kidding. It's like someone bakes you a nice ratatouille, and then before they give it to you, they throw it on the floor. That's how I feel about hammer and swamp. I know, it's awful.
That would be so heartbreaking. I hope nobody has to clean that up either. Man, that's such a waste of
make you clean it up. That's what I'm saying. It's awful.
You don't want to see eggplant and squash and mushroom and cucumber and pickle, I guess, all on the floor. Not sure how good that tastes. Alright, so Solsky looks like at least he is rewarded walking all the way back to the, I guess, Village of Outcasts in this case. He has a temper sword, so he's going to be very comfy for the rest of the seed. Rywick is quickly making his way back to the back of Desert.
Pretty much just crossing paths here. We will see a lot of the same checks from them. I guess, however, after Rywick finishes Desert here, we'll he's definitely got a point of diversion. We'll get to see where he goes next. I don't know. I'm thinking like Hera or something, but
Yeah, presumably, Solsky is going to end his route at Hype Cave, just like Rywick did, and then, yeah, presumably probably just back up the mountain. I guess I'm kind of curious to see if Solsky will stop by Swamp Palace and check the first chest, right? Because that is something that I have seen runners do. It is going to be on the way to Hype Cave, and of course, if the hammers just happens to be in the first chest, Solsky's sitting really pretty.
yeah, definitely. I mean, if it's there and you find it on your first go around, I would definitely put you in a good spot. Man, I don't even know. I'm trying to. I'm not watching any of the other runners, so I have no idea what they're going to do. But I imagine that you're going to see a handful of people checking that chest today. That's my guess.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
Rywick is going over to Hera.
Yeah, I mean, it's just like it seems like kind of the main decision point, right? Was after you picked up your hook shot and glove from Pod, like where do you decide to go, right? Do you go over to Village of Outcasts, or do you go over to up the mountain, basically, right? And
I think we're getting Ether here. Nice. Coin collection completed.
I guess Ether is still actually very helpful as a medallion, even though it's not a dungeon requirement or entry. For example, if you go through Stalfo's room in GT, it's a very fast way in order to kill all those skeletons.
Mm-hmm. It doesn't kill dead rocks though, so you really have to question its worth.
Uh-huh. Do you think does it even freeze them? Does it either do anything on them?
No.
Oh well then. Right,
they laugh at you.
Why do we pick it up?
All right, we are doing Herapot. That is going to be a big key in the basement today, and we already saw the map, so there is a chance that the big chest could have an item. There's a chance that that item could be the hammer.
Yeah, I was gonna say. So we already had one qualifier. I believe it was actually the first one, right? Where many people end up Herapotted. Oh wow! All right, never mind. Rywick ends up finding the hammer, which I believe, from our perspective, is everything all of these runners need. So even if Rywick ends up skipping out on the big chest, it's definitely not gonna hurt him.
Good for him. This might end up working out a little bit in his favor too, especially if he decides to take this back over and clean up Hookshot Cave and get his Cane of Samaria, which would be his go mode. That would also kind of take away a little bit of the fact that like he forced himself into doing an extra climb, but with the hammer there, you kind of were forced into doing it anyways, so it would still be a little bit of a time loss on his part, but this would be making the best of it for sure.
Yeah, and presumably you're right here on the mountain, right? Just gonna finish up Hera, just make a right dash over. Looks like Rywick is doing exactly that. Gonna go into the Dark World, get his Cane of Samaria, and then he's gonna be in go mode. He's gonna be able to finish up everything. Hopefully he's not too annoyed with himself because he did kind of unfortunately had to double dip Meyer. But I mean, just a consequence of how his route ended up working out.
Yeah, he's actually going to. It's interesting because he's going to have to double dip Meyer. That is a time loss. Solsky, however, he's kind of going to get hedged into doing, probably the Smith sequence, purple chest, all of that. That's going to be stuff that Rywick does not have to do. So he's going to Rywick's going to save time over Solsky on there. Now, is one going to be glaringly better than the other? Well, the answer is probably yes, and we'll see whenever they're entering GT.
Yeah.
I don't know the answer to that one right now.
Yeah, no, I mean, the divergence that both of these runners took was actually pretty big, right? Yeah, I don't think we're going to be able to see anything until kind of the dust settles and everyone has 7 crystals.
I think this is going to be a very good qualifier for everybody, though. It does seem kind of like...
good as in everyone's going to be like... it's going to be very competitive in terms of timing?
I think it's going to be very competitive for times. I don't think that the bad times are going to be, I guess, too outlandish.
Oh, I see, see. Yeah. Oh, so
I'm not certain,
Yeah, like, as in, like, the top 5, like, can't, basically ruin it for everybody else.
I mean, if somebody went directly to Meyer and then they went directly into Hera, I take it back. They're actually going to have a blazing fast seed because they get to skip all of the village.
And
they're going to be finishing with, like, 5 hearts? Sure, why not? I don't think it's bad. I could see someone doing that for sure.
I guess it's also kind of an interesting point in terms of strategy, right? So we talk about qualifiers, people trying to basically play it, maybe relatively conservatively because they just want a bracket spot, right? So as part of the qualification process, you play at least 5 games. Your worst and best games are times are dropped. So if you've already got basically 4 games, there's no risk basically for you to kind of risk a 5th game. And then see basically what your decisions are. So if someone wants to play hyper aggressively, that can certainly be an option for them, especially kind of like towards the end of these qualifiers.
And going to do Crystal Hera would not necessarily. I don't think that qualifies as hyper aggressive at all. It's like whatever,
Yeah, I mean, you could just kind of see maybe this is something that you wouldn't normally do, right? As part of your decision making, and see basically how things are working out for you.
Maybe you want to get the Ether Medallion for the Gibdos in Skull Woods. So you're like, I'll just go do Hera's
Yeah,
first.
actually, yeah, that is actually. Well, I mean, Ether is surprisingly useful. I think maybe it's just kind of a consequence of maybe these settings. I have seen runners tend to use medallions more and more.
A little bit of the settings, honestly. I feel like the medallion usage was, in my opinion, because of the great innovation that is Quick Swap, where we stopped punishing people for using items, and we, gave this little cool option where you could switch to items. So now you can kind of use all the tools, in your toolkit here without, having to suffer, incremental time losses via the menu transitions.
No, quick swap is great.
It is fantastic.
It is, every once in a while you are going to see one of those, accidental mirror out of a dungeon. Let's hope it doesn't happen right like in this case. It's certainly not saying it looks like that's a very nice interest fight.
I mean,
But,
that's just the icing on the cake. Hey, there's an ice rod over
yeah, I
there.
was gonna say, was that intentional wording? Because Solsky just found the ice rod. In Purple Chest, of course, we know that Turtle Rock is 100% not required, especially we go and kill Trinex. If only ice rod hunts for that easy in Crystal Turtle Rock seeds.
If only Vitreous fights for that easy in NMG too. Oh man, that'd be the dream. Well, all right. That is Meyer down for Wyrick, so he just has to go kill Skull Woods. Solsky finishing up Hype Cave here. We'll get to see what he decides to do next. He is leaving. He's got his mirror out. Is he? This could be a mirror to Flute. This could be a mirror to go to Swamp. Oh boy. It could be a mirror to go up here.
Where are we? Where are we going?
We're going to go up here, and then we're gonna go into the light world, then we're just gonna go back into the dark world. Maybe we're going over to Catfish and Graveyard Ledge.
Oh yeah. No, this definitely could be a thing. Okay. Yeah, because he hasn't done any part of North Dark World either, right? So.
Yeah, and he doesn't. He's got King's Tomb as well. Okay, so he's just gonna clean this up as well. Okay, nothing wrong with that. Yeah. He has a Waterfall in Zora as well, so it's definitely a spicy location.
Yeah, and chances are maybe he is interested in basically making as many checks as he can before he goes up the mountain, right? Because, ideally you would like to go up there with the hammer.
Just be done, yeah.
But, unfortunately, or fortunately, we saw that Rywick picked up the hammer from Hera, so unfortunately Solsky doesn't know that, so otherwise he could basically save himself all of these checks.
And I am surprised, though. I feel like he would just be terrified to, check Zora just in case it had the hammer, because, how would he ever hear the end of it?
That's a great point, actually.
Just last location and forfeit, don't worry about it.
Oh, man. Hopefully, hopefully Solsky doesn't need the seed. It doesn't really need this race. All right, so I think it looks like we actually did see quite the difference, though, between a Temper Sword fight and a Master Sword fight on Rywick's side against Mothula.
It was substantially faster. Rywick is also substantially more healthy as well. Where did he get all these hearts from? Well, Must have gotten them. I mean, I feel like they've
that is
done the
actually
same
a good question.
things.
Yeah.
But it does look like that Rywek is indeed coming out ahead here because he's going into pod, but he has Hera finished, and after that, all he has to do is do ice, and he's going into GT. Whereas Solski still is going to have to go finish Hera, and then he's in go mode. So I don't know. Hera's not very long. I mean, it's practically a go mode Hera. It takes less than 60 seconds.
Yeah, but he has to know to go up to Hera. Like that's part of the issue right now for Solski.
He's got very little left. I mean, he can make a play, into Ice Palace. He could, go to the Dark World to go all the way back to Swamp.
Oh man, going into ice without that hammer, I mean, it's not really appealing.
Yeah, it looks like the options that are available to him, Harris seems very likely, but I mean, it's Rando, man. You never know.
Yeah, no, you're right. Rando does not have to be your friend. I can be your friend all the way up till go mode -1 item, and potentially that maybe is how Solski's feeling right now.
All right. Is the hammer going to be on Zora today, Solski? Is it going to be your seed?
Nope. So amazing if it were. But maybe Solski at this point is just very relieved, right? Because we did get
thank God.
Yeah, we did get a gold. I would say relatively early and after Dark World, and yeah, if he just left his hammer there, he would have been pretty sad.
All right, yep, and we are heading over to Myers, so good for him. That will get him his hammer. Rywek opening up the cutscene door here and going over to Helmasaur. Looks like that Zora gave him an extra heart too, so maybe that's answering all of our questions here.
Oh yeah, Zora did have a heart piece, and these heart pieces, they do add up, right? I think it's 24 heart pieces, something like that, in the pool total. And yeah, we're basically, we're coming down, towards the end of the scene, and by this point, we've seen a very gradual build-up. It looks like Solski has decided
Wait a minute.
Stand rocks. Good job, Solski. We are.
Is he listening? We're very fast. Is he watching us right now? You're not allowed to do that.
Maybe Solski just wanted to relieve some tension, some stress for himself, right? Or he wanted a friend, right? He's an eggplant, right? The squash is close enough to him.
All right, well, there we go. We got the extra vegetable in. I didn't think we were going to see that today, but I'm loving it.
I don't think McDonald's sells vegetables. Iceberg lettuce does not count as a vegetable, by the way.
What about a potato?
Potatoes, I think, also are they? I don't think they're vegetables. I think they're like starch something. I guess we're gonna have to consult the food pyramid for this one. Definitely again, ratatouille though.
Or the ones on the booth with the microphone, and like all the people that technically know the answer, they don't have a microphone, so that just makes us right by default.
That's
so
don't
worry about it. It's the commentary dream.
All right, actually, Solski looks like he has a slightly different setup to do Herapot. I guess we haven't seen that quite often, just because it seems like a lot of people like to.
What are we doing? Do
it with the boots. But okay, I guess Solski has shown us that you unfortunately cannot dig inside dungeons. Maybe he was hoping for like a magic refill or something.
Yeah, I could use one more bomb. I don't know.
Same thing happened to Rywek. He actually tried to dash into with the sword out, and Molder just outright rejected him. Oh no, did Solski poke? Oh no.
It looks like he did poke. I don't know how he didn't hit him there, though. Oh, Weasley little worm there. What? He is dead. That will be Solski's 5th crystal. Rywek has 6, in the process of getting his 7th. But we're at 106 right now. They are blazing through this seed.
Yeah, and of course, Rywek, but also Solski, never had to touch Ice Palace before this. They both have the Cane of Samaria, and they have, most importantly, they have the hammer. This is going to be a very, very fast dungeon clear.
All right. And we're going to see them both in ice at the same time. Very cool.
Yeah, so about this point, it basically is just going to be a battle execution, right? These runners got Tempered Sword, pretty actually nice Icebreaker there on Rywek's side.
Yeah,
they've got silver. Yeah, they got silver arrows. Got blue mail. It's part of the item pool for SGL settings. We are capped at I guess N-1 upgrades, right? So no gold sword, no red mail. So this is pretty much the maximum equipment that they're gonna have at this point. Rywick, not even spawning that chest. In this fight room.
There is very few things that could be in there you would want, I suppose. Magic powder?
Powder would be a great safety. Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's actually a good point too, right? Safeties are actually maybe a bit more concerning. I think Rywick still has his blue potion, but like yeah, especially at the end of the climb in GT, a lot of runners are just kind of used to powdering the anti-fairies in order to get that free refill at the end, and that's not going to be an option unless we find it.
Yep. Yeah, we did turn in that mushroom too. Yeah, you're right. We turned that in because they're marinating in it in those those juices that they have at that potion shop.
Oh man,
so
this is going to be the best ratatouille. I'm so hungry.
Speaking of, we have a cold stare fight. How do you feel about a little cotton candy garnish on your dinner?
Wait, garnish on ratatouille? No. We can't have that.
I mean, hey,
I don't mix sugar with savory food, especially cotton candy, which I think is just
just
pure
a little,
sugar.
just a little sprinkle, to give it that hipster flair.
Ratatouille is so pretty by itself. Like, do you really need like something like fluffy and pink, or I guess
with what
blue?
Rywick just did to it, we don't have any left to.
That's actually a good point.
Whatever, fine. I guess we won't do it today. Oh, hey,
you weren't kidding. Yeah, you weren't kidding, Ak. Ice Pals was blazing fast, especially with that cold stare
numbers
fight.
in chat. I don't know if it was because of that math lesson you gave us on the collective items in the pool, or if they're talking about something else.
We can maybe ask. They look like they're all within the range though, between 1 and 22. So maybe that should tell us something.
Guys, why are you putting numbers between 1 and 22 in chat? Tell us. We will wait for their explanation on that. We're currently unsure of what's going on right now. They just keep giving us numbers, so I guess we'll have to figure it out later.
Maybe they're giving us a recipe, for ratatouille, like how many eggplants you need, how many
ounces.
Yeah.
I gotta. This is a crazy recipe then, if that's the case. I'm not following.
we gotta feed a lot of people. I mean, do you see how many people are watching this race, Ak? Like, you can't just give them like one slice of eggplant or like one slice of squash.
Oh man, I'm so confused.
Everyone's gonna be hungry.
All right. Offward to GT, we are just below an hour 10.
Yeah, so
she's gonna have to kill Helma. That's probably about like 90 seconds there.
Yeah. Well, yeah, right. So Solsky has to go to the back, and then he is another, I would say, like mountain climb. So that's like maybe another minute adding on to that. And then we do have in this case, maybe related to all these numbers in chat, where that GT big key actually is.
That's what it is.
Yeah, and I guess maybe if people are trying to guess, I guess Rywick, what is your favorite path? Looks like we're gonna go right first. So more traditional routing here, at least for Rywick, is going to try and do Hope Room. There's a small key. We can continue on to Compass. Rywick was already prepared to mirror out to not expect that small key, but looks like we're going to keep going.
But he quick swapped to his cane, and my
he did that super fast. Yep.
In transition, didn't skip a beat. Beautiful.
Yeah, quick swap is great.
Could you say that him lighting these torches over here is like him preheating the oven?
With the oven light on, of course, right? Because we got to be able to see like what actually goes in the oven. That's actually one of the best. That's one of the best like inventions. Like it's so nice to be able to just watch. Yeah, we'll just be able to just watch your food like cook or rise. I mean, it's actually somewhat soothing, oddly satisfying.
Aquarium.
Yeah. Well, I guess we got plenty of arrows for.
I still have at least 3.
At least we're super prepared for anything that comes up here in Upper GT. We got more than enough arrows in order to take down Ganon. Hopefully, Rywick's not going to use up all of them on his way.
We have enough arrows. Yo, look at that!
Okay, that's our half magic.
That looks so silly sitting up there. All right. No big key yet so far, so whoever guessed those recipe numbers in the high numbers, looking good so far. Whoever wanted to shortchange us on the eggplant, sorry, you've already lost. That's just bombs.
Rywek, I guess choosing to slash his way through, you know. Yeah, we already saw a medallion use of Quake on Solstice guys, so you know maybe it was too much to hope something similar here on Rywek's side.
Hey, there's a cape. That could be maybe useful.
That actually, yes, that could actually be pretty good because you know, as you said, the safeties here don't seem to be super friendly.
All right. And Helm will soar down on Solski's side, so we'll see his GT climb as we anxiously await on Rywek's side to where this big key is going to be. We are running out of chess.
Yeah, Rywek has gone through a lot of the basements so far. So we've got what, like, we've got this fire snake room, we've got rando room, we've got behind ice armos, we've got Bob's chest, and
we also have a book, a recipe book.
Yes. Oh, dude. We have to record down all of the different variations of ratatouille. I believe a lot of people, you know, have their opinions on, you know, how much maybe salt we need, you know, how much, what the ratio of squash to eggplant is, you know, all that stuff.
Well, I guarantee you, if we're playing rando, it's going to be chock full of salt. Yeah. Don't worry about that. And there's our big key and chest number that one.
Yeah. So Rywek, of course, he's already got silver arrows, he's got a temper sword, he's got a boatload of health. We don't need literally anything else.
Chest number 15. I definitely counted that up myself.
That sounds good.
And whoever said 15, if they're wrong, well, blame them, not me.
Yeah, we've already signed a waiver with SpeedGaming that we're not liable for any losses or damages.
Mm-hmm. And that we're always right.
Of course. Well, I mean, we're the ones
in this case where the big key was on the left side, and then of course, but that's what the waiver's for.
I mean, we never said what number we would start counting at, so we can always just end at 15.
That's a good point. But Rywek here flying through this gauntlet here, making it look easy. He is a little low on health, but he is clearly not concerned about that because he's going to. I was going to say because he ended his life to dash faster, but he's actually just going to go down here, play it safe, get the health refill.
Yeah, it's sometimes it's actually a viable strategy for runners, just because, like, especially if you are not as familiar with the Cannonball RNG, you can basically have to stop your dash or get hurt along the way, and then you have to kind of walk your way, as opposed to you just fall, get your iframes, and just dash right through. Unfortunately, though, by going to the upgrade or the refill room, Rywek is also demonstrating just how useless those sword beams are. So they can definitely get in the way. Maybe he lost his sword beams intentionally here. All right, Solski taking a very similar approach to GT Basement on Rywek's as Rywek. So we're gonna basically go. It looks like we go through similar stuff. And it goes to Compass Room, mirror back, and then basically do left side, and then get all the way to Rando Room.
Well, he has to do this route. You can't cook a dish that preheat in the oven.
Yeah, no. Good thing we found the fire rod.
Here we are. Oh, good. Was Robes there? Rywek and Solski both have been playing this game for forever, so they are both very experienced runners.
Yeah, you can tell basically by how familiar they are with basically every single room there is. All right, we're gonna just take a second peek at how many arrows there actually were in the Compass Chest, and you're right, there were 3 10 packs, so that was a full quiver.
Here we are, and look at this. As he's dashing down, he quick swaps over to Fire Rod so he can shoot the Fire Rod because the lamp doesn't have the range. Incredible, dude. Quick swap is great. We could just talk about quick swap all day, man.
It was so nice to basically be basically widely accepted, right? I mean, it is actually a really nice speed improvement as well.
Solski got his half magic.
You know, it refills part of your magic. Maybe Solski is interested in using a medallion, for instance, in this room in order to get out. Come on, Solski. Looks like no. He does have to be a little bit careful, though, about his health.
He's fine.
Did we just find out the stun prize just now on Solski's side?
Maybe you did, because I wasn't paying attention.
Oh, okay.
So,
it was an 8 bomb pack, and I feel like that would have been more noticeable if either runner had decided to stun an enemy. Oh
I
no,
think we were
Solski,
short. We didn't have a
Solski.
hook shot until all the way into the Dark World.
Yeah, that's actually a good point. And we didn't. I don't remember also when we found a boomerang. But yeah, that would be not an option.
Solski's fine though. There's not too many opportunities to get hit here.
Sure. I'll take your word for it, Ak.
Yeah, it's fine. It's fine. Don't worry. Don't sweat it. Don't sweat it.
No, we can't sweat, right? We can only marinate. We
Yes.
need as much moisture and egg
Yes,
plants as
yes,
possible
yes.
we can get.
Exactly. All right. A little bit of awkward patterns here from Rywek, but we are getting there. Yep, that's Agatu down. All he has to do is kill Ganon. He will be having an excellent time for this qualifier. I could tell you the par times, but I actually have not looked at the results yet. I'm actually just going to assume that like he's going to be in first place because these are the runners I'm watching, and they're the ones that are most dearest to my heart. And there's Big Key for Solski, so he gets to do his climb now. 5.5 hearts, though. I will say it doesn't give you that much wiggle room to dance with Ganon. You can get hit. I don't recommend it happening. Probably more than once.
If it happens more than once, Rywek hopefully will have drank a potion. Drank a potion?
It didn't quite get the spin, so it looks like we will be getting, at best, a 1-2 here. Alright, yeah, we're just going to go ahead and use that cape. And you know what? I think that's the right call. I think we're probably going to get an extra cycle here, though. Got to get those 12 hits in. I don't know if we're going to have enough time. Maybe he will. He did use cape. And he did. Because he's a pro.
Yeah, and, so he does have a blue potion. The fact he also does have silvers, he's not going to be super concerned, I think, with magic consumption, just because you don't need very much, time for those torches to be lit in order to land 4 arrows in.
Yeah. Yeah. Solski is going to be refilling his health here. Getting his sword beams because they are Clear Mouse's favorite. AKA mine.
I would have just liked to stop the double heart beams.
And there we go. That was a
nice
fantastic
triple.
triple.
Yeah.
Yeah. You get your GGs in chat for Rywek. Looks like having a fantastic qualifier here, finishing just over 120.
All right. Oh yeah, as part of course, the qualifiers, we do get some custom Triforce techs.
This seed was brought to you by Lazy Kid.
Well, thanks, right. Lazy Kid. It's actually not as bad.
It was a good one. Yeah. They give that kid such a hard time. He did a pretty good job today.
Okay, yeah, that's right. Okay, so official time for Rywek. Let's see, 1:20:22. So his timer is correct. Looks like first place on our restream, 8th place overall in this qualifier of 37 people. Looks like actually Obscure Lifeform. I think one of the semis actually from the main tournament finished first place with 1:14:28. Next ups are Shady Force, 1:16. Willard J. Bradley, 1:17 flat. Farine with 1:17:07. Actually, wow, just got sniped by Willard. Zero Rush, the lane, A0, and then Rywek in 8th place.
Good.
I think you're also right. Yeah, looking
top 1 and 2 there. I think that they were like all almost semifinalists. I know Shady was very far in the tournament as well. He can tell us his exact standing, but I remember watching my boy Shady. He did really good, both of them. So to no surprise, they're incredible finishes today. Hey, by the way, it's also Rywek's here. What's up, man? GG's.
Rywek?
Yes.
GG?
Yeah, GG's.
Thanks for GG's. Oh man, leaving Death Mountain, I almost felt like there was like a dead rock on my head, pulling my hair, forcing me to leave. I was just so focused on the flippers. The dead rock on my head was just saying flippers, flippers, flippers. And then when I saved and quit, it was, oh right, I had the mitts.
Oh, that's why you left early. Gotcha.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
a little
but I decided
curious.
to just roll with it.
Why would you be concerned about a dead rock being on your head when you had Quake?
Ah, you're right. I should have used
I'm just-
Quake,
I'm
get rid of
just
the dead
kidding.
rock pulling my hair.
We were waiting for all these values. You even picked up ether, right? And there was no ether usage. Unfortunately, you couldn't fricassee, you couldn't freeze, you couldn't shake things up a bit. I mean, man.
I don't know. For a good meal, do you really want to freeze anything? It's like that's what you do with the leftovers.
Well, I mean, you can put things on ice, right? You know that is a valid serving way. By the way, we talked about a lot about food on this restream.
I think he knows a little bit.
I mean, it is Canadian Thanksgiving weekend, so
Is it really?
yeah, this weekend is gonna be Canadian
Oh.
Thanksgiving.
No, we knew that.
Right,
And,
that's right. Everything was planned.
You are Canadian, correct?
I am.
Yeah, congratulations on winning the Canadian championship against Solsky.
Oh, thank you. Yeah, I just gotta kick that Ontarian's butt.
Yeah. I was pretty sure you were, but like also at the same time I'm also pretty sure about a lot of things I'm wrong on too, so it's But no, it was an excellent race.
Hey, if nobody questions in chat, you must be right.
Well, and then when they do question me, I just ignore them.
But yeah, it was pretty jet seed. I can definitely see myself like, oh yeah, if I had just done Dark Death Mountain faster, it would have saved me a double dip in Mire, and I'd probably be in the top 5. But yeah, that was really quick.
I think with where the hammer was, it was the best of, I guess, the worst case scenario. Because it kind of seemed like Solsky was maybe a little bit ahead of you at that time because, you know, he immediately went to Death Mountain. But Mira and Mitz kind of, you know, forced him to do a little bit extra work, too, when he did Village of Outcasts because he didn't immediately go to Hera. But you didn't have those options on the table because you had no Mira and no Mitz. So I definitely think it probably would have been better to get K in there, but I think you definitely made the best of it for sure.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, because I mean, so Solsky, of course, you know, did Dark Death Mountain, did Hookshot Cave, got his cane. He was able to full clear Mire the first time, but you know, because of where the hammer was, you know, what is your incentive now to go back up the mountain, right?
Right. That's...
And then, I mean, yeah, you get the Mitz there. I can't say that. I've not seen people do that. I can't say that, you know, I haven't done that myself many times also. It's weird. You're thinking about where to go next, and then you get, you know, that item in front of you that's like, hey, wait, don't go anywhere yet.
Yeah, I don't know why. I was just completely distracted by those flippers trying to figure out, okay, do I go do ice without a hammer? And that's what I was debating in my mind. Like, Ice Palace must have the hammer, right? That's what I should be doing. And then I gave myself King's Tomb the chance to figure out, okay, what's the actual plan? And I decided to just, okay, let's go check Mire Shed. If I have the medallion, we'll attempt Mire, which turned out okay.
Yeah, you get the mirror out of it too. Yeah, that's a good point. I thought everything was, I mean, relatively clean and like it made sense. You know, that it's just unfortunate that. Yeah, again, you know, it wasn't intentional by any means, I imagine. So.
Yeah. I think. Correct me if I'm wrong, but you end up getting the flippers last, right? Like when you did your sweep of Paradox Cave, like you got Mitz on the right side, and then you ended up with flippers. Is that right?
No, I finished with the Mitz, and it kind of just
I
didn't
got
register in my mind. It's like I was just too focused on those flippers.
Yeah, okay. I mean, like, it's either commonly seen, like, you basically find the first thing, you're like, oh man, as you said, you were thinking so much, or maybe you were, like, focused on the very last thing, and you kind of forgot about the first one, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, it happens. It's not like no one's ever made a mistake, you know, trying to, you know, win a race or anything like that.
Hey, Solsky
Also joined by Solsky.
GG, Solsky.
Thanks, guys. Pretty...
Was that your last qualifier, Mr. Solsky?
Yeah. That was
okay.
last one.
Are you doing the one tomorrow, Rywick? I believe you're on 4 because I read your file name.
Yep, I am. This was my 4th qualifier. I think I'm gonna do tomorrow's one. It depends on my score because like the only thing that can happen is I can only improve upon it at this point.
Well, that sounds good.
Yeah, exactly. But if I'm already in a good position, I might just skip it and just play Metroid Dread.
Oh
yeah.
That's why I did this one today too. It's like get it out of the way. So I had the match, and then for league, and then I had this like right after. So.
Oh yeah, I did mention that. I've actually got the channel name renamed to twitch.tv/SolskiGaming. So you enjoy.
It's
Because
not,
you were on the one before, like you're just playing all day.
It's just playing all day.
We're getting the image cropped in post, but we'll have that working tomorrow, boss, sir.
That's fine. Yeah, so pretty fast, almost linear speed. Played it really safe. Played it just to kind of manage my part time to around a 90 again. I couldn't really improve upon the 92 because that's like my top, and it would have gotten tossed anyways. So play to win didn't really make sense to me. Just kind of play to try to not bleed as much time as possible. And you know, if I just did what I would do in a 1v1, which is probably just go up to Hera with getting that mirror that early, ended up doing that. But you know, I still like play safe that density because like if it's there and a lot of people got that hammer early and then pivot to Meyer next, then it's like a net trade off, and then everyone's gonna be on top of each other, right? So
skipping the whole entire Dark World, man. The option was there. It would have been so sick.
Yeah,
so much. Sweet. I think I would have been easy top 5, but yeah, it wouldn't.
No, still a great run.
Yeah, I felt like I played a lot better in the game before. Like I'm still kind of getting back in a competitive shape. So, yeah, no complaints about this one.
And don't let Solski lull you into a false sense of security. He's been doing this forever. he is a competitor by heart, so don't. He's just trying to lull all the people to thinking like, oh, it's Solski, you know, he's still rusty. Nah, when it comes game time, you know he's gonna bring it. Both of you are. You both are incredible runners. I'm not buying it for a minute, so.
I did have a question, Solski. Given how late you went to Zora, were you nervous at all if Zora had the hammer?
No. I was trying to find a good place to do it because again, I'm like, all right, let's just max our time as much as possible with density, and then the shovel was the one that scared me because like I was like, oh, I forgot to do the shovel and I was already climbing. I'm like, no. So it was lucky that it ended up being in Hera because I would have been a little upset if I bled time because it's that shovel. But,
we did see you dig twice in Hera. Maybe that was a substitute.
That and yeah, because I don't quake. I didn't mean to quake. I was just be like,
dude,
oh, no.
We thought that was awesome. We were talking about that earlier in the restream.
Because I saw the shovel there, I was like, no. And then I guess I hit Y like just as an accident.
Well, if you watch the restream back, it's gonna be a little bit of an awkward coincidence.
Yeah.
That's all right.
I guess,
they deserve to die.
Yeah, well, I guess it sounds like both of you are in relatively good shape though for qualifiers. Probably because Solski, you said this is your last one, so it sounds like you're at least gonna be in pretty comfortable shape, right?
I think I'll be just out of 32 because it's like that cutoff's around 90, so I don't know where I'll sit depending on like what the time is for this one, but I'll be right around there, so good shape to have. This goes like straight into brackets, right? So I don't know like what the the
official timeline I think starts on Sunday for brackets, but I assume there's going to be announcements sometime, probably at the end of tomorrow's qualifier, something like that.
Yeah, that's a big bracket, like steady thing to happen to a bracket that size, right? So, like, sure, seating's great and all, but there's bound to be like early exits and everything like that. So, I know I've had my fair share. Every time I make it to brackets, you know, like the last tournament, I'm like always out first round. So
I feel you, Solski, on that.
Yeah, every single one. It's great. I just keep running into like people like Frame, right?
It's definitely a tough one.
Yeah, I would love to just like, you know, unless I get a free one, but like.
No, who would you want to play? Tell us.
I mean, I'm like your kryptonite axe, so.
Yeah, I was about to say you can pick me. Go ahead.
Oh, that would be an amazing matchup.
We've had a good history racing together, so. Yeah, no, it's gonna be a lot of fun. It's probably gonna be like last couple of tournaments for a while, because I don't know like where my head's at right now. Competitive, it's kind of in the out, but I'm gonna try to enjoy these ones as they kind of go, right?
They always come back.
Oh, yeah, take a break, dude. Taking a break from this game is always worth it. When you come back, you always come back stronger.
That's what happened last time. I just took a year off from
Mhm.
everything, all the tournaments, and came back and won one, right? So that's all you gotta do, I guess, sometimes.
Yep.
The sick GG's very fun qualifier to watch. Really enjoyed it. I mean, it was nice too that all the really crappy stuff that could have happened, you like were forced to do it immediately. So that bow, that pearl, like boa and Pin and Eastern could really suck, but when you put pearl on Armos, all of a sudden it's not so bad.
Oh
That's
yeah.
pretty-
Yeah, and you got to skip out on the other two pendant dungeons, right? No swamp dip, no turtle rock dip because
Yeah, they were
the
off the
hammer was so
table.
late. Yeah, that's really nice.
I was happy for that hook shot though. I can't handle hover seeds. I mean,
Oh, I didn't even think about that.
I mean, 3 of my qualifiers I've done have been hover seeds, and I'm like, jeez, where? I really hope I get the hook shot early, and like, that wasn't so bad.
I got one, and it wasn't even my highest score. That's because, like, I guess with bounce and play now, it's like a lot more accessible.
Yeah.
People that can't hover, they'll just pivot to the bounce, and then it's like not as big an advantage, I think, anymore. You know, the skill has increased dramatically for the community in the last like year and a half.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of people know like a lot of the different texts and everything like that right now, so it's like
Yeah.
for me when I see those, I'm just like, yeah, it's all bets are off still. So.
Oh yeah, yeah. Well, I was always like big fish, small pond, like with the
Yeah.
francophone community. So like our skill level, like internationally, is not as high, but like just within the francophone community, I'm definitely at the top. So I need to look up these extra skills, like the reliable bounce.
I mean, just looking at the results of the qualifiers right now, like everybody that was in it, I mean, even the worst score or the worst time is not bad. And you know, it's an open tournament, so anybody could join. And like now, everybody that is joining, like everybody is competing. It is very fun right now for sure.
Mm-hmm.
It has gotten so competitive over the years.
I think this is a really good qualifier for a lot of people. The power time is going to be pretty good, and
Yeah.
we're pretty close to it. So
There was not many options to lose time.
Yeah.
It was very good.
Yep.
Well, sick GG's again, guys. Man, look forward to seeing you guys in brackets. This is gonna be a fun one this year.
Oh yeah, this is going to be a really fun and very competitive tournament. The skill level of basically top 128 has risen considerably, so it's definitely going to be really fun set of matches to watch. Any final thoughts from you guys before I guess we kind of wrap up this restream?
Happy Turkey Day, all Canadians.
yeah, that's this weekend.
Yep.
Yeah, just again, thanks for the restream and the commentary, guys. Good game, Rywick, and yeah, that's about it. Thanks, guys.
All right, well, I guess that'll wrap us up here. Clearmouse, got anything else you want to say before we head on out? You gonna go get some food immediately?
I don't think anywhere close to me even like remotely has anything close to Ratatouille, so I guess I'm gonna have to make do with something else.
Well,
maybe,
to be
maybe
fair,
there's taco milk somewhere.
the stuff we were talking about was probably not remotely close either, so you can do whatever you want and just call it that.
All right, sounds good. All right, well, thanks a lot. This was actually a lot of fun, being able to commentate this race with you. Yeah, and of course, thanks Solsky and Rywood for being good sports and putting on a really good race for us and letting us restream you guys. Of course, one more qualifier tomorrow. I think 3 p.m. Eastern. It'll be on probably SpeedGaming, SpeedGaming 2, something like that. And then we're gonna go.
Solsky Gaming.
Solsky Gaming. You're right. My
yeah, it's okay. It's new. Don't worry.
You're right. You know what? It was your first time on the mic. I think you did very well. For the first time. So certainly, look forward to hearing you again.
Boy, my face is red as a plum right now, so I think I'm gonna have to go. But man, I really
red as
appreciate
an
the
apple.
compliment.
Yeah.
But yeah, thanks for watching, guys. Make sure to check out that qualifier tomorrow. Have a wonderful evening.
Yeah. Good night.